So if you feel comfortable sitting on a block for a while, I'm going to sit on a block, or you can sit on two if you would like. Just going to start like that. When I'm going to sit for a while, I always turn it to this height because it's better for my ankles. My knees don't bother me. Some people's knees bother them when they sit like this. And that's fine. You don't have to sit on a block. Some people's ankles bother them. Yeah. And you can sit high too. Is that okay? Yeah. Do you want an extra block? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Oh, do you want me to get, all right, she's coming down. Are you guys allergic? Anybody? Okay. All right. So anyway, Artemis is coming down and she's all over everybody. So I just wanted to make sure nobody was allergic here. So yeah, we're talking about the yamas. We have been, and we're on asteya, which is non-stealing. So just to review, ahimsa is nonviolence or compassion. Satya is truthfulness. And now asteya is non-stealing. And I'm sure you're all going, well, I don't steal. And maybe you don't go into stores and take things without paying for them, but there probably are little ways in which we do take from others or even take from ourselves. And the reason we do that is because let me just read this to you. So the need to steal essentially arises because of a lack of faith in ourselves to be able to create what we need by ourselves. The moment we feel a sense of lack in life, desire, want, and greed arises. We begin to look for something to fill that empty sensation and often feel as though everyone else has what we need and what we want. So lack, insecurity, wanting, feeling incomplete. Essentially, it all boils down to feeling like there's something missing. The word yoga means to yoke, unite, connect, or essentially to become whole. So by practicing each aspect of yoga on and off the mat, we can move further towards feeling as though we already have enough and we already are enough within ourselves. And I use the example that Nancy was talking about, that sometimes we take from others by doing things for them that they could do for themselves, or speak for others because we don't think that they're going to say it the way we think it should be said, or like my running out and helping Joe by buying snow pants for Connor. Maybe I was overstepping, maybe I was stealing from him. So personally, I buy more things than I need. I don't know if any of you do that. When we buy more than we need, we are often subconsciously looking to fill a gap that we feel is missing in life. Material possessions obviously can't replace whatever it is our soul really needs, but time and time again, we temporarily satisfy ourselves by buying yet more stuff we don't need. So remember Gandhi's words, mankind's greed and craving for artificial needs is also stealing. It is these artificial needs which create the piles of stuff around us. And yet the more material things we have around us, often the more material things we feel we need. So desire and want is what causes us to go out of our way to obtain something. Often the things we buy and don't need could be appreciated by someone else. But by needlessly taking them for ourselves, we rob others of the chance to have what they do need. Abundance now means to have a large amount of something, so much so that there is no need for anything else. Practicing knowing that we have enough and that we are enough is the key to wanting and desiring less, and therefore feeling a lot more whole and happy within ourselves. Let's just close our eyes for a moment. Tap into your breath. Actually put one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and then just see where the movement occurs more. And see if you can shift it downward more into the belly. And you can put your hands back down if you'd like, and then just silently say to yourself, I am enough. And just check and see how that feels in your physical body when you tell yourself, I am enough. And please bring hands to heart center. May we all learn asteya, non-stealing. I think when we practice asteya, we're much better able to look around and see the beauty and the grace that's in all others and all other beings. Please open your eyes, lower your hands, keep making the rounds. And just where you are, I just want you to kind of move your pelvis forward and back, and see if you can do this without moving any other parts of your body, just kind of warming up. And then find that spot where you feel like you're right centered on your sits bones, and get really tall, and pause there, and then just do a little twist to your right and a little twist to your left, and one more time to the right, and one more time to the left, and then pause in the middle and bring your arms out. And I want you to initiate this movement from the shoulder. So from the right shoulder, just start to outer spiral your arms. So move it out all the way to the hand, and then go the opposite direction. So inner spiral the other arm. You feel that? And then switch, initiating it from the shoulders and moving down to the hand. Oh, that feels good. And then do that another time back to the opposite side. Feel it. Weight's right in the middle of the sit bone still. And then pause and stretch your arms up. Keep it tall. And then come on off your block. Hopefully you can still feel your feet. I'm going to have you place your block. I don't know where my plan is for class. Oh, here it is. And I'm going to have you put the block between your knees. And I want your knees to be about hip distance apart. So you decide if it's this way or this way. I have a little wider hips, so I'm going to do it this way. And then you can just widen your feet a little bit wider than hip distance. So the feet are a tiny bit wider, and you can either curl them under or stretch them long. And then place your hands and squeeze the block with your knees and move into a cow pose. Squeeze the block, move into cow. And then squeeze the block and move into cat. And keep squeezing the block, move into cow. And squeeze the block, move into cat. And one more time, each direction. Remember to squeeze. It just kind of gives you some more room in the low back. And it's actually really good for your knees. And then pause and bring the block up into your upper thighs. So up as high as you can. Move your hands forward a little bit. I have to do my feet a little bit closer together than normal to move into downward facing dog. So squeeze the block, move into down dog. You feel that. Notice how your core engages. You're not scooping your tailbone, you're squeezing the block. Yeah. And then move forward to plank. And just notice it there, squeezing the block, feeling really engaged all the way up and down the spine. And then push back to down dog again. Squeeze the block. And then plank. And lower the knees and lower down to your belly. And you can grab the block out and bring it forward between your hands. Oh, he's going to practice this with us. So now we're going to do Shalabhasana, but I want you to think about squeezing the block between your thighs to activate your feet and legs. And then think long side body, draw the head of the arm bones back, and then round the upper back by drawing the rib cage back a little bit. So you feel really strong between the shoulder blades, and then broaden your clavicles, and then lift the block. Squeeze the block between your hands. Think. Breathe. If your block doesn't lift, it's not unusual. Good, and release. Whew. Hard, right? I know. Some people are like, my block won't lift. Oh, you got kisses. She's like, you can do it. Okay, let's try it one more time. So think, squeeze a block. So you feel your hip creases lift a little bit when you do that. Squeeze the block, draw the rib cage back, round the upper back, broaden the clavicles, and then lift. Squeeze the block. Try to keep the arms straight if you can. And breathe, of course. And one more breath. And relax. Oh. Push all the way back to child's pose. And take a breath or two. And then slowly make your way up to standing and have a block handy. And actually, I discovered the other day, if you stack your blocks one in front of the other, then you don't have to worry about whether your foot's too big to fit on the block because we're going to stand on it. So it feels kind of nice. So just when you're ready, step on it with your right and bring your left foot in line with your right. So it's like you're standing there, but your knees bent. Okay. Hips are square, hip creases are parallel. And I just want you to feel all parts of both feet. You feel a little work in your quads, right? I want you to feel work in the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes on that side. And then just slowly shift your weight and come up to the tippy toes on your left foot. Let's see if you still have weight on all parts. I feel like I leaned forward a little bit and then slowly lower back down. So your knee is in front of your ankle, which is different than we usually do in a lot of poses in yoga. So let's try it again. So slowly shift, use all parts of your right foot and your left, and then see if you can maintain and keep that right where it is and lift the knee. Feel your core engage. Keep weight in the heel as much as in the ball of the foot. And then very slowly lower the toes back down and see if they're in line. And then very slowly, 1 millimeter at a time, step back down. Okay, good. Switch sides. And one side might feel different. Just check and see if they're lined up. Feel everything engage. And then slowly shift. So quads, glutes, hamstrings, core work. And slowly go back down. Everybody's cracking here. There is that. Good. Switch again. I know. And see about lifting the knee. And slowly lower back down, toes down, and shift. Yeah, good. Switch back to the first side. I'm gonna give you one option. If you're not feeling stable, you don't have to do it. So shift the weight, think, can I use all parts of my legs to lift the heel, lift the knee, and then turn the knee out to come to tree pose. And if you're feeling stable, you can extend up. If you're not, just use your arms like if you can find a little bit of quiet there, all parts of your foot being used. And then release it, bring the knee forward. And as you bring it down, hands to heart center, come to toes, and then shift. Ooh. Okay. Other side. It's kind of fun to play with these. Sometimes when you're up high, your balance is a little better because you think, oh, I can't get out of balance. I'm going to fall. So just see where your mind goes. Don't steal from yourself and tell you can't do it, but just play with it. It's not very high, so shift the weight, lift the knee, turn it out. Tree pose. And slowly come out. And down, shift down. Yeah, if you fell out of it, no one even noticed because they're so focused on themselves. Okay, bring your blocks forward on your mat. And come on down to all fours again. And then right where your hands are, bring your elbows there. Oh, actually, let me try something real quick. Bring your middle finger together, like this. And then just rotate on the base of your hand until your pointer finger straight ahead. Then you'll have your hand placement right. So that width apart, it's a little closer than what I normally do. So I've been doing this lately and it feels kind of good. Now bring your elbows right there where your hands are. So your elbows are the same width as your shoulders, that way. So press them down. Now we're going to do that thing with our shoulders again. So think long side body, round the upper back, and then broaden the clavicles. And keep your head in line with your spine. Now see if you have the rib cage drawn back. You should feel like it is. Now lift the right knee up and don't let any of that change. So the knee's bent, the foot's like it's going to step on the ceiling, and see if you can still feel that connection. And then 5 times, lift the knee a little higher and lower back down. And see if you can do that without getting more of a cow thing in your back. But you just resist, warm up the hamstrings and the glutes. Don't allow anything to change in the core. And when you've done 5, bring the knee down. We get so weak. And pause there and see if you need to reconnect. So think long side body, round the upper back, broaden. You'll feel the shoulder blades come down a little bit when you broaden the clavicles apart. Good. Think, is the rib cage back? And it feels a little bit like you're even rounded in your lower back because you're so connected, but you're not really because you're not scooping. And then lift the left knee. Check yourself. Did anything change? And then 5 times, just lift a few inches. Warm up the hamstrings, the glutes, the core. So 5 times. Just feel that. See if you can not change anything. Just use those muscles. And then when you've done 5, lower the knee. Come back up on your hands. And just let's warm up the hands a little bit more. So check and see when you came back up, did you have the right distance? Pointer finger approximately straight ahead. I mean, everyone's different. Arms full length. And just kind of move forward and back a few times, just warming up the wrists. And I want you to think the base of the fingers. That's what you want to try and get grounded. And you can also grab with your fingertips. And then pause and see, can I lift the fingers and the thumb, but keep the base of the fingers grounded down, the finger mound. Oh, and maybe it's really, for me, just like a millimeter that it lifts. Good, but it warms up the wrist, right? Good. Now turn the fingers out, get that same feeling, and just go side to side a few times, and then pause. See, ooh, can I lift the fingers here? I can't, but maybe you guys can. Finger mounds down. Oh, good, and then pause. Now turn the fingers towards your knees if possible. Thumbs pointing out. You might have to move your knees a little closer. I do. It feels better. Press the finger mounds down and then move forward and back a few times. And see, oh, just the feeling of pressing the base of the fingers down and trying to lift the fingers adds a different kind of stretch. Good. Keep the arm straight. Good. And then unwind. Whew. Grab your block and step your right foot forward there. And lift your back knee to deep lunge. And just feel that. We're going to work on getting really grounded through the feet. So just notice as your right hip in front of your left, squared up. Feel the legs engage. Now take that left block and put it under your left knee and bring the knee down on it. Bring your hands to your front thigh. Hug heel towards knee, knee towards heel. So it's Anjane Asana position, but feel that right foot really grounded. Think about when you stepped on the block, that feeling in this leg. I want you to get that feeling. Draw the left knee forward a little bit, maybe extend your arms if you're feeling it. Anjane Asana. I feel it in my glute a lot. And then touch down, lift the back knee so you can grab the block. And then step forward to a forward fold. Take a moment there. And then step your right foot back. Deep lunge. Just all those same things. Feel the hips square, the foot really engage, and then bring the block under the right knee. Hands to the front thigh. I have to think of drawing my low belly up. Really grounding through the left foot. Hugging the right knee forward to keep everything square. And then stretch up. You can even bend a little deeper so the knees slightly in front, just like we did when we stood on the block, if you want. Doesn't move a lot. It just kind of really feels connected through the foot. You still feel the heel, the ball of the foot. Good. And then touch down. Lift the back knee. Step forward. Good. Just to warm up the sides of the body, come on up to standing. Stretch your arms up. Bend the elbows, grab the elbows so you're framing your head. Notice if your rib cage stuck out, draw it back a little bit. Feel the feet really grounded, and then arc to your right and up and over to the left. And coming back to center, just bring your right hand down between your shoulder blades. Keep a hold just for a little stretch on the triceps there. And then switch. Nice and tall, all the way from the feet, all the way up. Good, stretch both arms up. And fold forward again. Bring the hands to the block, step your right foot back, deep lunge. Lower the back knee. And this is going to be really weird, but you're going to move your foot out of the way so you can put the block where your foot goes and then step the foot on. And then bring your hands to your front thigh. And hug knee to heel, heel to knee. Yeah, you might have to adjust the block, and it's kind of awkward to get into. Feel everything engaged again. That left glute you feel, hamstrings, quads, maybe bend a little deeper. You'll feel stretch here. Your hip flexors stretch up. Anjaneyasana. Really feel like you're making an impression on the block with your foot. Good. Bring hands to your front knee. Lift the back knee. And then just like you did, if you can slide that foot forward and come up to standing on that block. Woohoo! And then slowly lower down. Woo, good job. Okay, let's try the other side. So forward fold, step the left foot back. Almost did the same side. Lower the back knee to get into it, and then try and get that foot in the right spot on the block. Hands to the front thigh. Hug, knee to heel, heel to knee. This is some of the stuff I did at the, I went to that hot yoga workshop before I left. And he had us doing stuff like, well, similar, but it was kind of weird. So feel everything really like you're making an impression. Stretch your arms up. Really grounded through that right foot. Good. Bring hands to the front knee. Lift the back knee. And think, oh, can I just slide that foot up? Shift. And come up to standing. Ooh. And then lower down. Good. And step off. Well done. I know. It's kind of fun to play though. Play with just like Connor does. He plays with blocks. We play with blocks. Okay, let's just do a little flow. So inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Let's do left foot back, deep lunge. Lower the back knee. Stretch up Anjaneyasana. And just notice your right foot in this position. Don't you feel more grounded? I do. I don't know about you. Good. Touch down. Step back to downward dog. Notice your hand position. Check what does it feel like if you had a block between your inner thighs. Does it feel like you engage better all the way up and down your spine? Come forward to plank. Lower to the mat. And cobra, this is easier than shalabhasana, but it's the same feeling of really connection in the shoulder girdle. Connection up and down the legs. And on your exhale, lower down. Downward facing dog. Then the left leg, step it through, deep lunge. Help it up there if you can't get it there. Lower the back knee. Notice how connected you feel through your feet, through your legs, and stretch up Anjaneyasana. And touch down. And please step forward. Feeling really grounded through your feet, through your legs. Sweep all the way up. Hands through heart center. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Right foot back first, deep lunge. This time ground it down and come up to standing. But I want you to just bring your hands on your hips, front knees bent. And then just check your alignment and see if you can get that feeling of really being grounded through both feet. And then make sure your knees tracking straight. And then once you have that, see about isometrically pushing your feet apart. And then isometrically pulling the feet towards each other. And then once you have that feeling, try and find a place in the middle where you feel both feet are pushing and pulling and holding you steady. It's like you're making an impression in concrete with your feet. So you're pushing and pulling, kind of getting your feet to sink down deeper, and then add the arms. Warrior two. Ooh, that's a lot of work, isn't it? Good. Feel that, straighten the front leg. You have that strength of push me, pull you, and move into triangle pose. Your block's there in case you need it. I'm just grabbing my ankle. The breath. Breathe. Don't steal from your experience by holding your breath. And then feeling those feet come back up and back into warrior two. I don't know about you, but my back leg is like screaming at me. It feels so stable though. And then windmill down, turn the back heel up and step back, down dog. Walk your dog. And then I'll give you a choice. You can do vinyasa or you can take child's pose if you need a little break. So if you're doing vinyasa, forward to plank, notice your hands, notice your finger mounds, lower down. Cobra when you're ready. And lower down when you're exhaling. Downward facing dog. Extend your right leg and step it through. Deep lunge. Down the back foot down. Make your way up. Warrior two position with your hands on your hips, just so you can really get into your feet and legs. Track the knee straight. You're not scooping your tailbone, but you are really feeling connected through all parts of your feet. Push the feet away from each other. Pull the feet towards each other, and then find that spot right in the middle where everything feels connected. Add in the arms. Awesome. You guys look so good. You at home do too, I'm sure. Everyone bend just a little deeper into the front knee. Feel that back leg holding you strong though. Good, straighten the front leg. You've got those impressions going. Fold into triangle. breathe not only in your mat, but you're making impressions in the floor. You're so strong and stable. Big toe mound, grounded, arches lifting, but really feeling that good. Come on back up. Bend into the front knee. And windmill down, turn the heel up. And step forward. Inhale, pranam. When your next inhale is, exhale, fold. And inhale, sweep all the way up. Hands through heart center. Good, just for fun, do one more sun salute. So inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Grab your blocks and bring your hands on the blocks, and then step your right foot back just enough that you can ground the front or the heel down and keep a bend in your front knee. So you might have to turn the toes out slightly. Your hips are probably not going to face forward completely. Bring your hands to your front knee and come up to warrior one position. Let your arms dangle. So you're attempting to keep the hips square, but they're probably not going to be. I want you to feel the feet here. Hug them, spread them, and then find that spot right in the middle. Stretch your arms. Warrior one. Good, and then touch the blocks. Step the right foot all the way back to deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. And then walk your hands to the right and turn the left foot forward for a wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita. So push the feet apart. Pull the feet together. And then find that spot right in the middle where you feel so grounded through all parts of the feet. Yeah. Who needs a sticky mat when you do that? Walk your hands back towards your left foot. Turn the back heel up and step forward, and we'll switch to that warrior two on the other side. So step the left foot back just enough so you can keep the heel grounded, the right knee stays bent. I like to bring my feet a little bit further apart. It just feels safer for me in warrior one. And then come upright. Just feel the feet super grounded. Notice how my knee is right above my ankle, not in front of it for this one. I want you to feel that back foot especially, and then stretch up. Your hips are probably going to be pointing towards the left front of the mat. Yeah, it's hard to feel stable in this warrior one position. That's why I don't teach it very often. But when your feet are super grounded, you can. One more breath. And then touch down. Good, step forward. Actually, grab a block, bring it between your upper thighs, and come back to forward fold with that block. Squeeze the block. Just see how it feels. I have to keep a little baby bend in my knees. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Feels really nice. And then release the block. Come down to a deep squat. I want to try something fun on you with you guys, but we'll see how it works. I didn't try this in any of my other classes. Come back up to forward fold. Bring your feet just a little wider. Reach around, bring your right hand on your left shin, and then your left hand to your left shin. And then kind of duck down and do a little twist. So you're pulling your right shin towards you and your head comes underneath your left arm. Yeah, your head comes underneath the left arm for a little twist. So pull, yeah. So pull with your right hand. I think you're opposite. There you go. Oh. So right hand first, and then and then you're just twisting. Oh, yeah. Doesn't that feel weird? Good. And then undo it and switch. So left hand reaches across first. Right hand on comes across the left, and then twist and look under your right arm. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Feel the feet grounded and unwind. Good. Come on down to your behind and sit on your blanket. And I'm going to have you bring the blanket. I'm going to fold mine twice, so it's a little thicker. Every time I wash the blankets, they get a little thinner, but oh yeah. And you can do it on a block too, yeah. And then bring your heels slightly closer to your knees and then just kind of hold yourself behind you. Good. And then bring both knees to the right. So it's kind of like 90-90, and you kind of have to shift to make sure you're still on the block. And then turn and face your right knee. So hands on either side. And then see what happens if you push the feet into the floor. So I want you to get your knees down. And you can bring the heels towards you if that helps you to get the knees down. So push the feet into the floor. And now go the opposite direction. Push the knees into the floor and see if you can lift the feet. Oh, it's really weird. Yeah. Deep, deep, deep. And push the knees down, lift the feet, and then find a spot in the middle and just fold over that knee. Oh, I know. Someone who has knee issues told me after doing this that their knee actually felt better. So we'll see if that is you, Lisa. We'll see. Good. And then come on up. Come through the middle and switch. One side feels way different for me than the other side. So kind of support yourself as best you can. It's kind of an awkward position. Push your feet down first so you can feel the knees down. And then see, can you lift the feet? I feel it in my outer hip, and it's really hard for me on my right hip to lift that foot. It's just an attempt. It may not really lift. And then find a spot in the middle and fold. And then kind of gets into the muscles that are hard to get into. Good. One more breath. And then come on up. Unwind. Just stretch your feet wide. Actually, I'm going to go lower now. You can, or you can do it without. I don't care. Whatever feels good for you. Yeah. So little cool down in Upavista Konasana. So feel the heels pressing down, the hips grounded down. Feel weight right in the middle. And then just Turn and face your right leg. Keep that left leg grounded and intact, and then maybe reach across, attempting to get the belly centered on that leg and fold. Thinking long spine. She hasn't been up to see me at all. She loves you guys better. And then come on up and switch sides. Face it. Try not to lean to the right. Just keep stretching out over the left leg. Right leg's grounded. And stretch out those muscles that you just worked really hard. Good, and then come on back up. Bring the legs together and go ahead and transition to your back. But grab a block so you can have it handy on either side of you, actually. So bring them kind of knee distance to start. And then come to your back. Interlace your hand around your right, back behind your right thigh, stretch the legs straight. Just check and see how that feels. If you can extend the left leg to the ground and still feel good, like your low back still has a curve in it, you can do that. Make a big circle with your toe. Turn these lights down. And then bend your knee and just interlace in front of the shin if possible. And hug your knee towards your right armpit. Oh, hi, can you see? Good. Now, bring your right foot to the floor and shift your hips to the right side. So just your hips. And do them quite a ways. Your left leg stays straight. You're going to lift the right foot up again. Bring your right hand to your rib cage, your left hand to your right knee, and come into a twist, but come all the way so that your right foot comes on the block and your right knee comes to the floor. Might have to adjust that block. Mine was high. So right knee to the floor, that's the key. Right foot to the block. So you're in a twist. Now, your hands on your rib cage because this is a pretty intense twist with the knee down. And if you bring your arm to cactus or T, it feels even juicier, but you don't have to do that. I don't think I'm going to because it just, so, but you can kind of think, oh, I'm twisting right there in my rib cage. Come around and see, how's that feel? Okay. If you can bring the knee all the way down to the floor. Yeah. Feels okay, right? Yeah. It's a different kind of a twist. Hopefully you guys feel it at home, that it feels safe. Good, and then unwind. You're gonna have to shift your hips back to the center, knees bent. Start with knees bent. I know it's really different, but it feels kind of good. Yeah. And it feels good on your knees for some reason. Interlace behind the left thigh. Stretch the right leg to the floor if you can. You might have to back off a little bit on your leg. Make a big circle with your big toe. stay square to the front. And hug the shin in towards the left armpit. And then bringing the left foot to the mat so you can shift your hips quite a ways to the left. Your right leg stays stretched. And then I like right hand to the knee, left hand to the rib cage. And then twist until your right knee comes down. And then you can try and kind of work with that position. You can't get the block in the right place. Bring the block closer to you, Julie. That'll help. Yeah. Or even. Yeah, let's bring it. Is that better? Yeah, and I think that might feel better for you too. So if we bring it a little closer. Ooh, your feet are cold. Yeah. It's just kind of a strange thing, I think, but it feels, it's just a different variation, but it feels kind of good. Pretty deep. You can even shift your hips a little bit more to the left if that helps. And then take 2 more breaths and unwind. Bend your knees so you can shift back to the center. Kick a block closer to your hand. And we're just going to do supported Setu Bandha. So remembering the feet grounded feeling, lift up enough that you can slide a block under your tail and rest down on it. And then you just play. If you want to, you can extend the legs or not. If you're really feeling ambitious, I didn't do this with other classes either. You could come into plow pose and just slide that block up under your back to kind of hold you there. That's kind of like supported plow pose. Don't have to do this either. Stay in Setu Bandha if that's better for you. Just giving you options. And then it's kind of awkward coming back out of plow pose. But it feels kind of nice to have that block there to support you. Bring your feet down. Slide the block out. And transition into Shavasana. Now, if you want to, you can do some other cool down poses if you need a little windshield wiper or Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. Do that. And then when you're ready, slide into Shavasana. And don't steal from yourself by allowing yourself to relax completely. Give yourself this time to let go. Really noticing your breath, Allow every exhale to be a reminder to release tension, release thoughts, let go into the floor. And just like when you're really using your feet to make impressions, your hands to make impressions in the floor, your whole body's going to make an impression, but you don't have to work at it. Just let gravity do all the work. Allow the bones to feel super heavy because there's no muscle work to keep them from sinking deeper. Even relax the roof of your mouth. Relax your earlobes. Relax your belly button. Do you continue to rest in Shavasana? I'd like to share some words from Marianne Williamson, which I think touches on that non-stealing asteya. Today, I break free of a belief in limits, as there are no limits in the mind of God. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. The universe is a field of quantum possibility, where nothing limits what love can do. I do not bow before the ego dictates of scarcity and lack. Rather, I embrace the infinite abundance of God's universe. I face the world today knowing that anything can happen, for there is no appearance or lack or fear that can prevail upon the will of God. God is love and fear is illusion. Knowing this, I am a natural worker of miracles and a deliverer of peace. Beginning to notice that you're still breathing. And start to deepen the breath a bit. And when you feel ready, stretch your fingers, stretch your toes and feet. And just transition slowly. You feel ready to drawing the knees in, rolling to the side, pushing on up. Just bring hands to heart center. Appreciate you guys so much. And I bow to the light that shines from each of you. Namaste. Thanks for being here. And just so you know, I will hold class next Friday if y'all are up for coming. There might be extra people here, but that's okay. So I'd love to have you if you're wanting to come or just be online, either way. All right, so have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy the snow. It is kind of pretty, even though it's cold.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome. Bye, guys. Thanks. Bye, Megan.
Bye.
Bye, Sandy.